What's going on, guys? In today's video I'm going to talk about transitions in Adobe Premiere Pro. Transitions basically mean switching from one clip. So as you can see, I have downloaded two clips into my composition. One is this one and one is that one. So what we're going to do is we're going to see how we can move from the first clip to another, and how do we actually do the transitions in between these clips going from one to another. It will also include things like default transitions, adding anything from the libraries that Premiere Pro provides by default, etc, etc. So if I play this video without adding any transition, bringing anything from the libraries, so if you play, it will go with a default transition from one clip to another. So let's have a go at it. Yep. So there you go. This is basically called a simple cut transition. What you can do is you can actually bring a transition in between these two clips. So if you right click here, and then you can select apply default transitions. So if you apply default transitions, what this will do is that it will basically add automatically a transition between these two clips. So let's have a look. So if you play this again, there you go. Okay. And I believe this is called cross dissolve transition, and you can bring other transitions to it as well, depending on what composition and what final product you want in your video. One thing I would suggest is that do not put too many transitions in your composition in your video. Keep it to the default transitions as much as you can, and keep it to simple transitions unless the video requires or your end product actually requires too many transitions. My personal preference and suggestion is that try to stick to the default and minimum transitions as possible. The default transition by itself is quite impactful. I think it looks really good, and sometimes is just okay to leave it with the default transition. What you can also do is you can actually so you can now see that this transition starts from here and then it goes all the way and ends here. What you can do is, if you want to show this transition over a longer period of time, you can drag from here, from the left hand side, and move it to the right. Basically what it's doing is it's equally stretching the transition in both directions. So now when we play, the transition will be actually over a longer period of time. There you go. Okay, so you can play around with it. You can change the time, you can change the duration of this transition however it suits you. What you will also see is that you can download different transitions from, if you go to the effects here, you can go to the video transitions, and then you have a few more options actually to drag and drop. You can also go into the effects as well. In the effects, let's have a look at this one. So for example, you have the alignment is actually at the center. So if you look at the cut over here, it's right in the middle. And if we sometimes change the transition, the duration of the transition, sometimes you can actually move it in either direction, more on the right hand side, less on the left hand side, or vice versa. If that happens, what you can do is you come to the alignment under the effect controls, come to the alignment and set it to center at cut. If you change it, sometimes it will basically go to the end cut or custom start or start at cut. But if you want the transition to be right in the middle, or fully aligned at center, then you come to center at cut alignment. So that's also an option you can do if you mess things around here, which sometimes do happen. I always do that as well. So just come here to the alignment and click on center at cut, and that will make everything at the center. As I said, Premiere Pro has many transitions by default, so you can drag and drop other transitions from here. If you don't have the transitions on here, basically you go into the window and you go into your effects and effect controls. You can also come up here, and on the right hand side then you see video transitions. Okay, and there you go. So this is a full list of all the default transitions that you have in Premiere Pro. You have obviously 3D motion, dissolve, immersive video, etc., etc. You can just select, go into any of these, and drag and drop any transition that you want right on here. You don't need to delete this first, just drag and drop and it will replace it automatically. Also in here, if you see, the cross dissolve has a blue box or a square around it. This means that this cross dissolve is a default transition. So remember when we right clicked on here and we selected, let's just remove this one, and when you click here, apply the default transition. The default transition is basically that cross dissolve over here. Okay, so we'll put a cross dissolve, and let's say we want to bring a cube spin over here. All you need is just drag and drop and release it here. So this has now changed to cube spin. There you go. Okay, and when you click on here, you will have different options. If you go to the effect controls, you will have different options depending on the type of effect that you have, transition you have selected. Okay, so there is the transitions, but before we go there, I just wanted to highlight one thing. After we brought and dragged and dropped the cube spin transition, you can see there's a red line that has appeared at the top of, exactly at the top of the transition. This basically means that it's nothing wrong with the video or the transition that you've brought. It just means that the video needs to render again. If you run it without rendering, you may find the video a bit jittery, a bit maybe laggy. All you need to do to get rid of this red line is just simply press enter, and it will render the video for you. Now when you play it, it will actually, as you can see, the line has changed at the top to green. This means that the video is rendered. Okay, so as I said, depending on the transition that you have brought, in the effect controls on the left hand side, you will have different options. For example, in here, over here, we are trying to see how we reveal the images, each of them. So if you put maybe this one, let's say, to here, and drag this one to maybe here, as you can see, that this has now changed back to red because I've made some changes, and that changes needs to be rendered first. But anyway, as I said, we can still run the video. Okay, there you go. So that is a transition which doesn't really look good because the settings here are not as they should be. In my opinion, I think this should be left here and this should be left here, so that you get the full transition from in the clips. Okay, so if you run it here, there you go, it changes all the way, and it goes all the way to the end as well. So this is all about transitions. Nice and quick video. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, please enter in the comments box. Do like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.